is Yasin Mendez, and I'm going to be doing an informational video about the Teotihuacan civilization. Teotihuacan, also known as the City of the Gods, was a city in Mexico. It was way more than just a city, it was full of life. The people of Teotihuacan were a spiritual community and believed in many magical myths. The layout the city had was intentional, and the people believed the architecture was not just by coincidence, but to communicate with the gods. Teotihuacan's largest structure, the Pyramid of the Sun, is lined up with the Pyramid of the Moon and also with a mountain called Cerro Palachique. In front of the pyramid, a building called the Aclosada was across the street of the dead, and farther south, still on the east side of the Street of the Dead, is the Citadel. All of these made up the shape of the Pyramid of the Sun. Together, they formed a connection between the sky and earth. To the people, it was a reminder that life was lived aligned with the heavens. The Great Goddess, also known as the Spider Woman, was the main structure of Teotihuacan's beliefs. She represented fertility, the cycle of life and death, and creation and destruction. It began with the rain god, Tolog. He was the god of rain, lightning, thunder, and agriculture. She was portrayed as both nurturing and sometimes violently. This showed how she reminded people of her power to contain it. Priests offered her flowers and human life to honor her. The feathered serpent god, part snake and part bird, symbolized wisdom and power. It had carvings found on the walls of the temple of Quetzalcoatl. They symbolized life and the city's connection to nature. The carvings in the temple were not just for decoration, but as spiritual warning to the visitors, that the god's presence were always with them. To the Teotihuacan people, sacrifice was not considered as a negative consequence, but it was seen as an offering to the earth. Sometimes the people were buried alive underneath the temples and believed to become guardians of the gods, like the feathered serpent, the storm god, and many others. The people of Teotihuacan considered this the highest honor and a transformation from a human life to a spiritual god. As we said in the sacrifice slide, the people saw death as a transformation to a spiritual life. When a person died, the people buried them with preparation as if they were leaving for a journey into the next life. This shows us how much status matters to them even in the afterlife. The priests of Teotihuacan were considered spiritual guides, or more common, shamans. They communicated with the spirits, and they were believed that they could turn into animals. They were a connection between the human life and the spiritual world. In conclusion to this video, the people of Teotihuacan believed in so many spiritual beings that allowed them to understand the way they lived their lives. Even today, the way they lived influenced many in the Mexican culture and continues to today. Teotihuacan may be ancient, but the spirit is still alive and told in the traditions and stories told today. Thank you.